Hello and welcome back to Medium Rare. Today we're talking about a few silly stories. I just wanted to take a little break from everything so serious in the news, everything so serious in life, and let's just look over a few stories that are quite amusing. And the first one we're going to is one for all us UK people out there. I don't know, do Americans have Jaffa Cakes? I don't know. I don't think Americans have Jaffa Cakes. So this is for us UK people. Jaffa Cakes confirm correct way to eat them, and it's blowing people's minds. The company that makes Jaffa Cakes have revealed which side of the sweet treat is actually the top and which is the bottom, and that means we've been eating them wrong. If you don't know what a Jaffa Cake is, there's this picture here. They're like this little biscuit cake thing. There's a whole debate about if it's a biscuit or if it's a cake. I think they're technically cakes, even though they're usually sold in the biscuit aisle. But yeah, they're these little sponge cake things with a bit of chocolate over it, and there's also like a gooey orange centre. For years, one debate has divided those with a sweet tooth. Is a Jaffa Cake a cake or a biscuit? But now it seems there's apparently something else that's causing a stir amongst the chocolate orange fans. Apparently all this time, we've been eating them wrong. Yes, really. According to a spokesperson for Jaffa Cakes, which is owned by McVitie and Price, contrary to popular belief, the chocolate part of the treat isn't actually the top, it's actually the bottom. This means that we've been holding them wrong, and consuming them wrong, upside down for as long as we can remember, and our minds are blown. The surprising fact was confirmed on social media by a man known only as David. Here's a pack of Jaffa Cakes, obviously, and if we scroll down, we can see this direct message that this guy received from Jaffa Cakes. What side of the Jaffa Cake is the bottom? Hi, David. Our Jaffa Cakes go through a reservoir of chocolate, so the chocolate is on the bottom. Thanks, Jaffa Cakes. David was stunned by this confirmation, writing, WTF, dude? And he wasn't the only one who was shocked by the discovery. OMG, just turned my world upside down, one person said. Another wrote, am I the only one who always thought the chocolate was the bottom anyway? Yeah, you were. However, not everyone else was bothered by the whole thing, with someone else stating that it made no difference. I don't know how you can think that this makes no difference to anything, folks. This is clearly important. This is one of the most important stories I've ever covered on this channel. The fact that Jaffa Cakes, most people have been eating them upside down. Although, to me, it makes no sense, though. Why is the chocolate part the bottom? Why would you hold it that way? It means you're, like, sticking your thumb into the chocolate. It's going to melt onto your thumb and you're going to get covered in a mess. It's usually better to put chocolate on the top so that your thumb goes under the non-chocolatey part so it doesn't melt in your fingers. Am I trying to make too much sense of this? I don't know. Let me know what you think in those comments down below. But the next thing we're talking about today is a fantastic story. Man's pet geese come with him to the pub wearing special nappies. And now, before we go any further, I want to say I've always wanted a pet goose. I think that would be fantastic to have a pet goose. But before I even start reading this, why does the pub let us geese in? That's very strange. I don't think I know any pubs that would let you come in with geese. Wouldn't they just, like, bother customers? Have you seen videos of geese chasing people? Geese make good guard dogs. That's a genuine thing people get geese for. Instead of an actual dog, they get geese. Because geese are very territorial and they will chase you. They go, they hiss, and they chase after people. Anyway, a man who adopted 2 pet geese during lockdown has started taking them to his local pub, wearing nappies. For you Americans, a nappy is a diaper. Sven Kirby, 34, is regularly spotted walking the birds, named Norbert and Beep Beep. Beep Beep, that's a great name. Around the streets of Leeds, and the odd trio have now branched into socialising in their local. The admin assistant hand-reared the birds from 5 days old after buying them for £40 each in June. He lets them have free reign of the house when he's at home, while he keeps them in a pen in the garden when he's out. Free reign of the house? What, is he letting them, like, sit up on his couch and watch TV and watch what they want to watch on TV? Hey, what do you want to watch today? Bird watching? No, we hate bird watching. Let's watch The Simpsons. That's really strange. Sven, who lives on his own, said, I know a goose is a strange pet, but it's something different that I have wanted for a while. Well, to be fair, I did say I wanted a pet goose. I could have got a dog, but as I worked full-time, I didn't think it was very fair. Geese require much less attention. I bet they smell a lot worse as well. I love the 2 of them. They're brilliant characters and great fun to keep as pets. I don't know if I can play these videos without getting, like, copy struck, but I'm going to, like, just skim through these. You can see, obviously, that's sitting on his lap on the couch. Anyway, the geese have to wear special nappies indoors because they aren't toilet trained. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought that a goose wouldn't be toilet trained? Wow. Sven first got the idea of keeping geese a few years ago when he was in York, visiting his then girlfriend, and saw some waddling along the riverbank. He said, "My ex wasn't too keen on the idea, so when we broke up, I decided it was my chance to finally do it." What an absolute madman. Of course your ex wouldn't be keen on it. I can understand that. I mean, my girlfriend, I'm not sure she'd be too happy if I was to bring home some geese either. When lockdown hit, he did some research and found his nearest breeder. After parting with £80, he returned back to Leeds with the 2 male geese from the same clutch. Beep Beep was named after the sound a bird makes. Sven regularly walks the geese around the streets and canals of Leeds. You know, I'm looking at this, and for some reason, I was expecting him to have them on leashes. Is that strange to expect him to have his geese on leashes? I'm actually shocked that they don't run away or anything. That's quite impressive. It's like he's got 2 bodyguards walking with him. I mean, I wouldn't mess with that guy. Would you? I'd be terrified. That guy comes after me. I'm not messing with him. I'm not messing with those geese. Oh no, they're geese that are often bred for foie gras, meaning that they're used to being handled and therefore generally docile. They can live for up to 40 years. That's a long commitment. That's a big commitment to take on. They don't require much exercise and have a diet 80% made up of grass. You know, I think I'm going to stop here, but this guy is certainly a bit odd. Let's just leave it at that. The next story we're covering today is this guy. Burglar who left name and address at crime scene, jailed. Can you imagine that? Leaving your name and address, whether it's an accident or on purpose. Lovely. The information helped lead police officers to Malcolm Pike's home, where the stolen equipment had been left out in the open. Malcolm Pike, 43, broke into a garage in East Harrington, Sunderland, and stole £150 of cleaning equipment on the 6th of March. As he was making his getaway, he accidentally left behind a bag which contained letters bearing both his name and address. I want to know why he had those things with him in the first place. If you're going to a crime scene, it's not a crime scene until you're there, but if you're going to commit a crime, why would you take identifying papers with you? Surely you would think, hey, I'm going to leave this stuff at home, even just somewhere else. I'm just not taking my personal documents or anything that can identify me into this place. Like, that, it's not even about thinking, oh, what if I forget it? I just would not think that you would want to take any of your stuff with you. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Maybe there's a bunch of really stupid criminals out there, and they didn't know this, they had never thought of this, and now I'm giving them a heads up, so suddenly they're all going to get away with this stuff. Maybe I'm doing a disservice to the world right now. But personally, I don't understand why you would ever take these things in the first place. This information helped lead officers to his home, where the equipment had been left out in the open. Detective Sergeant Chris Raper-Smith said, Malcolm Pike is a prolific thief who has consistently proven a disregard for the law and the welfare of others. Unfortunately for him, his latest offence, which was fairly unsophisticated, that's a great way of the police calling this guy an utter moron, saw him leave behind a number of personal items, which directed officers straight to his front door. The stolen equipment has been returned to its rightful owner. In addition to pleading guilty to the burglary, Pike also admitted another burglary as well as 2 thefts of property in relation to what the police have called a crime spree, during which he stole clothes from a family's washing line. Petty thief. Definitely a petty thief. The final story we're covering today, folks. Coronavirus. Man told snakeskin isn't a legitimate face covering, especially when still attached to the snake. The man was seen with a light brown serpent wrapped around his mouth and neck, but no one batted an eyelid. No one batted an eyelid? I struggle to believe that. In fact, I refuse to believe no one batted an eyelid. If they weren't, it was just they weren't doing it obviously, because they didn't want this man's snake to pounce. Look at this guy! He's wearing... Folks, it's one thing to wear a face mask. It's another to wear a snakeskin face mask. But you know what? There is something else entirely to wear an actual full snake around your face as a mask. My lord. A passenger who was spotted wearing a snake as a mask while travelling on a bus has been warned it is not a legitimate face covering. The man was seen with a light brown serpent with a diamond-shaped markings on its skin wrapped around his mouth and neck on a bus. I want to know if this thing was alive or if it was dead. That's my question here. One passenger who asked not to be named said at first she thought the man was wearing a funky mask before she spotted the creature slithering over the handrails. Oh, so it was alive? It was moving? The reptile did not seem to be bothering anyone else, she said, adding that she found the incident really funny. She said no one batted an eyelid. Oh my god, this thing was alive? Like, if it was dead, that would be one... Right, let me do this again. It's one thing to wear a face mask. It's another thing to wear a snakeskin face mask. It's another thing entirely to wear a dead snake wrapped around your face as a face mask. But it is from another universe entirely. A strange, bizarre, parallel universe where someone will wrap a living snake around their face as a snake mask? As a face mask. My lord, folks, this... I don't even know what to think, honestly. People never fail to amaze me. It is not known if he was challenged by the driver over his choice of covering. Well, I wouldn't be challenging him. I'm not challenging a man with a snake wrapped around his face. I'm not effing with that guy. Pictures showed the man was not wearing a mask under the snake. Well, no crap. It is mandatory for all passengers to use a face covering on public transport during the pandemic, unless they are exempt for reasons of age, health, or disability. Transport for Greater Manchester spokesman said, government guidance clearly states that this needn't be a surgical mask and that passengers can make their own or wear something suitable, such as a scarf or bandana. While there's a small degree of interpretation that can be applied to this, we do not believe it extends to the use of snakeskin, especially when still attached to the snake. The species of the snake is not known, but if it is a venomous breed, its bite could destroy blood cells, cause blood clots or excessive bleeding, and destroy tissue. Duh? If a bite is not treated immediately, they can be fatal within 30 minutes depending on the toxicity level of the venom and the type of snake. And that's where I'm stopping with today's stories, folks. This was just a bit of nonsense. I hope you enjoyed some of these stories. I enjoyed covering them. Maybe I'll do something like this in the future. I think it's nice sometimes to look at the silly stories in life rather than constantly focusing on everything that's so serious and gloomy or aggravating. Sometimes it's nice to just look at a bit of nonsense and have a little bit of fun. Anyway, folks, let me know what you're thinking about all these stories in those comments down below. Leave a like on this video if you liked it. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and also check out all my links in the description down below, including the links to my other YouTube channels. And until next time, my name is mrragreynolds, and this was Medium Rare.